Hello, everybody. It's us again, Willie,
And Renee.
the Neals. And today we're talking about something that some people think is a very sensitive subject, but it's something that's very necessary to talk about. And that's intimacy and sex, especially as we get older, how it's defined and what it really means and all of those things. And I feel like lots of times, maybe the age in which we grew up in, that sex was not something that was necessarily talked about. It was doing the nasty or this, that, and the other, or that was, we snuck off and did this, or, all of those kind of undercurrent kind of things. And our parents didn't necessarily teach us anything about it, and especially not about intimacy. I remember my mother, she told me quite a bit of things about sex and intercourse. But when I asked about what was the difference, and when I realized, because I don't know, somewhere in school or something, they talked about intimacy. And I went to a private Christian school. And so, they didn't talk that much. They just did the absolute birds and bees. But I had asked the teacher about intimacy, and she said, you need to ask your parents. And so, I was like, okay, you can talk about that, but intimacy must really be something real dirty or dark or whatever for me to ask because they were teaching us about sex, but somewhere I had read about intimacy. And so I asked my mother, and she was like, oh, that's just something that's in those romance books, child. That's not real life. She said, no, if your husband is good to you and he don't beat you and he don't cheat and he brings food home to the table, and he's, good Christian person, that's intimacy. That's what. And I was like, well, why the teacher couldn't tell me that if that's what it was. And then I was reading in the Bible about Abraham and Sarah and Jacob with his wife, and all of that. And how when he met her, he was just so in love, he was just overtaken, all of those things. And to me, I was like, well, seems like it's supposed to be more than just, you know, he's good to you and she takes care of the kids and this, that, and the other. I felt like, no, it seems like it's supposed to be a connection that you have, and that it's a bond that you create, and it's not just sex, or you can't have romance or intimacy at all. That's just something that you read in the Harlequin romances. They still have those? I don't know. But anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. And so we're going to deal a little bit with that because I feel like when we get older, when you're younger, lots of times, I know this may sound a little coarse, but lots of people, they just in it to win it. They just have sex and they just enjoy all of that, and it has its place. But as you get older, it's not just, uh, what is it, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, or whatever. It involves a lot more, and you want a deeper relationship with your mate. And so it's important, even when you're just dating, that you do talk about sex and intimacy and what that means for you and what you expect and what you like and what you don't like. And so I'm going to start first. How about that? Say what I think, okay?
Alrighty.
Okay. Is that I feel like as you get older, intimacy and that spiritual bond is far more important than just the act of having intercourse. That it's where you have a knowing of the person, and you just can't wait to see them if you've been gone all day or whatever, to share things with them and to talk over the day's events, or just to be in their presence. It doesn't have to just necessarily be talking all the time, you know, and that you all have maybe rituals where you watch, certain programs on television together, or like us, we have a great back porch, and it has a swing, and I like to sit in the rocking chair and he likes to sit in the swing, and we just sit sometimes and just look in nature and just watch. To me, that's intimacy as well, because we just enjoy, the bonding time and being together. And one of our favorite things to do that I think is intimate, I don't know, y'all might not, is we love just laughing together. I don't know what we be laughing at so much, but we always find stuff that's funny, and we have a lot of the same kind of personality. He'll show me things on, what is it, on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or something,
Mhm.
the little shorts or whatever, and they're hilarious. And it takes us into conversation. And, we like to watch YouTube stuff, all kinds of funny little skits and things like that. And that's intimacy as well. And it's just not all, like I say, about the intercourse. As you get older, your body changes, and you may not want to actually do it as often or be able to have intercourse as often. And sometimes you have health issues and things, but you can still have intimacy. And that's a form of intercoursing together without just the sexual act. What do you think about that? You laugh.
Well, I agree with it, but
Mhm, mhm.
I'm laughing because I was emphasizing to myself, I don't have any health issues that interrupt
No,
anything of that nature.
sure.
So, but I agree that, as you get older, certain things is becomes better with time. You
Mhm,
enjoy just being with that person, so
mhm,
much. And one of the things that I laugh about that I really like is, especially being retired, I don't have to get up early in the
Right.
morning. I'm not one of those early birds
Yes.
that get up early. I laugh with my wife. We'll stay up to 1 or 2 o'clock watching
Mhm.
something crazy on TV, or I'll be telling her about something stupid that Donald Trump is doing, or she's telling me, and we stay up laughing or just looking through YouTube about
Mhm.
stuff. And that to me is intimacy, because
Mhm.
I'm enjoying her and she's enjoying me, and that we are able to just relax. And we know that, well, we went to bed at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
Thank the Lord we don't have to get up early because we
Right.
retired.
Right.
I can lay there in the morning, I can
Mhm.
talk to her, I can rub on her, I can
Mhm.
hold her. And that to me is a great form of intimacy. It's
Right.
just being kind, just being there, just being in
Mhm.
that person's presence. And she's the type that she is not really a morning person, but
No,
I
not at all.
can laugh about something I'm looking at
Facebook.
Facebook
Oh,
or
you.
TikTok or something, and I'm really wanting to laugh. I try not to turn it on most of the time to to have any sound or anything like that, but some of them are so funny that I could not have the sound on and still laugh. And then she'll, okay, now what? And so I have to go ahead and show her or turn the
Yeah.
volume up. And we both just sit there and
Yeah.
laugh
Right.
about some of the stupidity that people do in life.
Mhm.
And to me, that's that great intimacy, in the sense of just I'm enjoying her, enjoying
Mhm.
some of the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that is the same for her.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just a great feeling to be able to just know that everything that we're doing is for our enjoyment.
Mhm. Right. Right.
Whether it's an actual intimate thing, or whether it's just a laughing thing, or just
Mhm.
just being together.
Right.
That to me is so enjoyable, just being with somebody that I don't have to perform or put on a show all the time
Right.
simply because, oh, well, you're married, you're supposed to do this,
Mhm.
or especially from a male standpoint.
Mhm.
A lot of times men think that, well, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to have certain thoughts all the time. And for me, I don't have those things. I don't have
Mhm.
those thoughts that I have to be doing something in order for her to know that I'm a
Mhm.
man. I'm confident in who I am. And I think that's the important thing. You have to trust in yourself and know that, you're making your mate happy and not like that, and that's how I think all men should, first and foremost, work towards just making sure your mate is happy, that they're happy with you, not that, oh, well, I'm performing, or you try so hard to perform, then you are not 18 anymore. So certain things that you can't do when you're 50 or 60 that you don't have a desire to do.
Right,
You have to take that into consideration.
yeah.
That's where you are.
We do. He doesn't have any problems in any of those areas at all. But it's not all about that. I'll give you two things that I think are very intimate that we do, and that's fun. Is I am not a morning person. He's not either, but he likes to get up early in the morning and then come back and get in the bed, and laugh and talk or whatever. But he's not going to let me sleep forever, because I'll get up and go back to sleep and all that. And I think it's so funny. It's just so hilarious. He's like, okay, it's time for you to get up. What you do? I miss you. Wake up. You don't need to be sleeping all day. And just something just like that is very intimate, because I already know he gonna come, he gonna wake me up, or he gonna clear his throat, or he gonna slam the door. Oh, I didn't know. Are you still asleep? Are you awake? I thought you were awake. That is so funny. And then we have our certain places that we sit on the sofa. We usually sit on the same sofa when we watch television together. But he sits on one end and I sit on the other end. And, we very rarely do we sit right together. We do sometimes, but most of the time we don't. But every so often he's going to reach over there and he's going to hit me or something like that, or he's going to grab my hand, or he's going to we'll hear something sort of emotional in a story or a movie or whatever, and he'll blame it on me. Are you crying? Are you crying? Did that touch you or whatever? I love those kinds of things, and we just enjoy each other's presence so much. And that's very important. And if you are dating, especially online, and you're not, right in the same proximity with the person, it's important to talk about that sex. How often do you like it? Do you have health issues about it? Are you go to the freaky side? You like to be handcuffed, or whatever your thing is, you need to talk about those things. And for us being Christian, it was important for us that we wanted to wait before we, till after we got married to have intercourse. So that was something that we had to discuss and talk about, and not just assume, oh, she says she's a Christian, he says he's a Christian, and we end up, maybe that's why we took only 2 days to get married. I don't know. That could have had something to do with it. But yeah, but it's important that you ask those different questions and talk about those things. And I know for us, when we were just dating and talking, he did ask those things. He said, now I'm not into being all tied all up and all those kind of things and flipping all around up in the air now. How are you with that? Type thing. He said, because if so, I may not be the dude. I can do what I do, whatever. But if you expect a whole bunch of acrobatic stuff, you may, need to be with a gymnast or something. And so make sure you talk about those things and have good expectations, that And if the person does have health issues, that you share those as well. That's important. We have totally been blessed to not have any kind of major health issues at all. But I wanted a part of that list was I wanted somebody who was older, but who was not an old man. Nothing wrong with old men, that's fine. But I didn't want a person who was, their emotional stability or their bodies or whatever, or their mental state was like 10 years older than me. And so God blessed me with somebody, who we both think we're 32, okay? And clearly we're not, but you can't tell us that. But so that's important as well, that you match their vibe, and we like going and doing stuff and hanging out, but we also like just being at home and shutting down. And we can go for a day or two and not even go out the house, and be good. And we enjoy also our time apart from each other. I'll be in my office reading or doing or whatever, and he's out in his office space, or he's out in the living room doing this, that, and the other. And just knowing that that person is there, and he'll text me or write me or call me, and we're just in the next room. That's fun as well. And we'll talk like that. But overall, don't make assumptions about the person, and be open and honest. If you do have some issues sexually, let that be known. Or if you've got some kind of diseases or whatever the case may be, or you have some kind of addictions, I'm addicted to pornography, whatever, make those things known. So, because it's not fair to the other person to not have all of the information to make very good, sound decisions as to whether they want to be with you or not. And then you get in the relationship and you find out that she's not interested in intercourse at all, or he can't perform at all, or he only likes a certain kind of woman and you're not it, and all kinds of things that can happen. So be truthful to your mate, and then understand that intimacy is a part of intercourse, and intercourse is a part of that intimacy. And it's not a bad word at all, okay? Or a bad thing. Okay, Willie, words of wisdom. You got some for us today?
I wouldn't say a word of wisdom, I think,
Okay.
but one thing that I think that people should start paying a lot of attention to, I won't say more, attention to, is something that I've been thinking about, is uh, being able to look at society and where society is going. One of the things with that, I mean, like, for instance, uh, here in America, and maybe all around the world, you have the issue of a lot of people being overweight or having extra pounds here and there. And they do a lot of stuff to try to lose. And, whether we're having New Year's resolution, or a person just, I'm making up my mind, I'm gonna lose some weight. But then it's not as easy as some people say. And, Lord, I'm willing, but, it's just not happening. Yeah. And that, I think that people should start paying closer attention to, is at least doing your research on weight loss medication. There was a time when we always thought that, well, if they ever make a weight loss pill or something, I could just pop my mouth and I'm skinny. There's, nowadays they have weight loss medication is not so much a pill, but a lot of it now is with a shot, a weekly shot. And that in itself is something so simple and so easy, because they say almost all of them is the size of a diabetic needle. And if you had diabetes, the doctor told you to start giving yourself shots. There'll be no question. Most people would give themselves shots, or you would wind up either blind, loss of limb, or just in all kind of pain and so forth. That we would, if we had that choice, we would do it in most cases. I think that's where you have to look at it when you're overweight and you have the option of being able to go with weight loss medication. It's not a bad thing. It's not taboo. You just take it upon yourself. Oh no, that's not going to work for me. I think that people should, some people especially, should give it a try just to see how it is going to do you and how it's going to make you feel. And is it going to work? Are you going to lose? Are you going to be more healthy? And I think that's something that people should consider. Do your research on it and find out that it's something that you want to try and that you want to do.
Yeah, thanks for that. We did, and we'll have to show some before and after pictures, but we have to figure out how to do that, online. We old, so we don't know all of this computer stuff, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, that he did that research and he had to do a little convincing of me, but it was worth it, and we're still doing it. And it is just life changing. We accepted each other for how we were, and all of that, but we also wanted to live a healthier life um and a more consistent, in taking care of ourselves. And so yeah, we thanks. Oh, you're telling me to move over some. Thank you. And so we did, and I think it's just great. And it may not be for everybody, like you say, but at least do your research on it.
It's funny because at times we can be sitting and watching TV or go somewhere, and we can to each other we laugh about it. That person really could use some
Yeah.
Manjaro or some Wegovy, and that is one of those things where it's funny, but there's some truth to that.
Yeah, it
That
is. Yeah.
it's not so much your size, but it could be your health.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that in itself is worth at least an attempt or
Hmm.
at least research on your
Right.
part.
Right. Thank you so much. I tell you, this is why I love this man. He has all this wisdom, all this stuff going on. Y'all are just going to get more of these great nuggets that I get a chance to listen to all the time. Okay, until next time, if you want to comment, uh, what should they
You
do?
either comment and subscribe
Yes, yes. Okay, or
or
share.
share and
Yeah.
like the video.
Okay, yes, yes. And this is the Nails. And until next time, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.